Hey, welcome back. Thank you for stopping by. This is Take My Hand. We're kind of help you to navigate this world of technology. And today we're going to talk about powering on and shutting down a computer, whether it's a desktop or a laptop. Now, I think the first thing that might be going through, through a lot of people's head after hearing me say that is how hard could it be to turn on a computer, whether it be a laptop or a desktop. All one need to do is to just find the power button somewhere on the machine and press it. And that is fairly easy. And as long as the machine has some kind of power to it, as long as the battery is charged, and as long as you can find that power button, then it's fairly easy. And for the most part, in the case of laptops, most of them would have, the power button somewhere along the edge of the keyboard. Here, I have my laptop here in front of me, and the power button is on the top right corner, just to the right of the keyboard. All right. But that's not the case. That's not the norm in all cases. There are laptops. For example, I also have a Chromebook, and it does have the power key on the side, running along the edge on the side. And not only that, it's quite small. And the only way you will know that is the power button is by looking very closely. You may see that power logo on top of it. Or in my case, there's a little LED inside that power button, right? So it doesn't mean that because it's a laptop, you're going to find the power button in the same place in all cases. Depending on the manufacturer, depending on the design, take into consideration those factors. The power button may be in a variety of locations. But generally speaking, though, it's usually somewhere along the, on the same level where the keyboard is here. All right? So all you need to do to power up the computer is just to, like I'm going to do on my my laptop right now, press the power button, and just one quick press, and it should be booting up in no time. There it is. And as you can see, it's a Dell laptop, and the Dell logo is firing up. And sooner or later, so there's my desktop screen, so to speak. All right, so that's fairly easy. That's that's a no-brainer. Powering on, a computer, whether it be a laptop or a desktop system, whether it be a Windows or a Mac system, it's fairly easy. Nothing to give you anxiety here. Like I said, as long as you can find, the power button, and as long as the machine has power to it, the battery is charged and all of that, powering it up is fairly easy. Now, the opposite is also true. You can also use the power button to shut it down, right? But here's the thing. That is not recommended. And that is what I'm going to try to focus most of my attention on today. Just to let you know that just because you use the power button to turn on the machine, it doesn't necessarily mean that by default you're also going to use the power button to shut it down. Now, I mean, of course, it's human nature, and there's going to be that inclination, especially if you're not familiar with this, with this kind of technology, that you're going to use the power button to shut down the machine. After all, that's what we do. We use the power button to turn on stuff, to turn on our devices, whether it be an amplifier, whether it be, the vacuum cleaner, whether it be whatever, a car with a push start button. We use the power button to turn it on and to turn it off. So, it would kind of go without saying that you would use the power button to also do the same thing on a computer. And like I said, you can do that, but it's not recommended. And the reason why it's not recommended is because of the way the operating system in these, in computers are designed. The system needs to go through a couple of background checks. It needs to do some stuff in the background before it shut down the operating system. All right. So because it needs to go through all of those processes, you never want to use the power button to shut down the machine. All right. Because there's a possibility of screwing up some of the system files. Let's put it that way. The system files. Those are the files that kind of allow the computer to run normally. And shutting it down, if you press the power button to shut the machine down, that is called a hard shutdown. All right. It is recommended that you power the machine down by going through the operating system commands. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And like I said, I have my desktop screen here, and I have my laptop screen here open. There's a picture of my lovely wife looking at me. I use as a screensaver. So one of these machines is running. One is running Windows 10, which is my desktop machine, and one is running. My laptop is running Windows 11. Now I don't have a Mac. I wish I had a Mac to kind of demo this on. I'm not very good at using a Mac. I don't own one. Both my sons, they use Mac. At least one of them use a Mac regularly. And basically, that's all he knows to use. Now, unfortunately, he's not home, so I could not get to borrow his machine because he has it with him. Needless to say, let's see what we can do here. So, Windows 10, Windows 11. All right, and if it's a Mac, these commands might be a little bit similar, right? Now, technology has evolved a lot over the years. Before I start showing you how to shut down the machine, technology is evolving, and there's a possibility that I may be behind the curve, so to speak, when it comes to shutting down a computer. And if that's the case, let me know. Can you shut down, say, a Mac just by using the power button and without causing any problems? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments and let me know. But it's not, for Windows, it's not recommended. I'm sure about that. All right. So, in order to shut down your computer safely, and without you getting any error the next time you boot up, you'll go to the start menu here. The start menu has a little Windows logo on it, and of course you'll click on it. A window pops up. All right, and you're going to go to the power button logo, and of course there's power written beside it, so you can't go wrong. You're going to click on it, and you're using the left side of the mouse here, right? And when you click on it, you get, or in my case, I get three different options. I have the option to restart the computer. There's the option to shut it down, which is what we're going to focus on. And there's the option to put it to sleep. And this is something I'm going to talk about in another video. Why would you need to put your computer to sleep or to restart it? All right, we'll talk about that in another video. So what you're going to do now, you're going to click on the shutdown button, right? Now, at this very moment, I won't click on it because I have a program running in the background, and I don't want to interrupt that program. But I'm gonna close the program and get back to you. In the meantime, let's move over to our desktop. I mean, to my laptop. All right, my laptop is running Windows 11, and right along the bottom here of the screen, also known as the task bar, with all these icons at the bottom here, and I think it's the same thing on the Mac. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry. Right along the taskbar here, you're gonna see that same Windows logo again, and I'm gonna put my cursor right over it. And as soon as I place my cursor over it, there's this start. Well, this is the start menu. All right, the word start pop up. Now I'm going to click on, on my touchpad. I'm going to click on it using the left side of my touchpad, and I just, before I continue, if you're not comfortable using the touchpad, you can get yourself, a corded mouse or a cordless mouse like I have here. This is a cordless mouse. It is currently connected to my desktop computer. And basically, I use the trackpad to navigate this screen. Now, like I said, if you're not comfortable using the touchpad, because, as we get older, I'm, just aging myself here, our movements are not so precise anymore. Sometimes our fingers get a little bit, shaky. Well, I hope yours is not. But a good investment is to get a mouse, whether it be a corded one or a cordless one. But in my case, right here, I'm using the trackpad. So I'm going to click on the start menu. Okay, I click on the start menu and up pops a window, right? Now, this is Windows 11. This might be the norm. This is the first Windows 11 laptop that I'm owning. So I'm assuming this window popping up is the norm. All right. Now, right at the bottom of the window, you will see the power button again, right? The power button logo. I wish I could screen record this, but I can't. And I'm going to click on it, and again it gives me a couple of options. When I click on the power button, it gives me the option to lock the computer, the option to put it to sleep again like Windows 10. It gives me the option to shut it down, and also the option to restart, right? In this case, I'm going to hit on the shutdown button and see what happened. Yeah, I just did. And the laptop is shutting down. Now I know that it has shut down when, shut down safely when nothing, there's no light, no more lights under the keyboard. So this is shut down completely. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close off this program, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to shut down this system, and you can, observe the process again. All right. So I'm going to stop this program. I'm going to close this window, close this program, and I'm going to go back to the start menu, power button logo. I'm gonna hit I'm gonna go navigate to where it says shut down, and I'm gonna shut down the computer. All right, and as you can see, hopefully you're able to see that it's going through the process. I can still hear the fan running in the computer, so it's not completely down yet. Okay, now the fan has gone silent, so it's completely shut down. All right, so this is basically how you shut down a computer safely. This is the correct way to shut down whether it be a desktop or a laptop computer. All right, it's not recommended to use the power button to shut it down, and even though for someone who is not familiar with a computer, it may, you may be asking yourself why. That is because the operating system, and when I say the operating system, I'm talking about the software that allows the computer to run, allow all the programs to run. The way the software is designed, sometimes when you do a hard shutdown, which means if you just press the power button to shut it down, when you do that kind of a hard shutdown, it kind of messes up the software or the operating system. So what happens sometimes when you start up the computer again, when you power it back maybe tomorrow or later, you may get an error which goes something like this. Windows was not shut down properly, from your previous session. Something like that. That's not very accurate. But generally, that's what I'm saying. You may get an error which says Windows was not properly shut down during your last session. Okay? And you may get like a blue screen. And, for some people who are not, for many people who are not very techy or who are very nervous around technology, and you get that kind of a blue, not the blue screen of death, but sometimes you get this blue window. First thing you're gonna say, oh my goodness, something has gone wrong with my computer. What happened? In many cases, it's nothing serious, but it's it could potentially harm your computer to shut it down that way. So never, I shouldn't say never, but avoid at all cost to shut down your laptop or your desktop using the power button, right? It's not recommended. And if you have been doing that and you have been having problems with your computer, that could potentially be part of the issue. All right. So I just thought I would share that with you today. My videos are not scripted. These are just I'm just speaking from my head and what I have learned over the years using a computer. I never started I'm just over 60 now. I never grew up with technology, but I've had a deep love for tech. And because I have that deep love for tech, I try to read and to understand and to learn as much as I can about how to use, the technology that I need to use, how to use it properly, and so that I don't, it doesn't give me, anxiety and stress and that kind of stuff. All right. So thank you for watching this. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you learned something new and you want to continue learning, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to have a lot of videos, guys. I'm trying to make these videos as simple and straightforward as possible so that, you can grasp what I'm saying as easy as possible, and without confusing you. All right. So thank you again for watching, and until the next video, take care of yourself, and sooner or later, I will ease your anxiety when it comes to tech. Take care now. Bye-bye.